Now it works perfect. So actually, what you should remember from this topic in order to pass the exam successfully. So you should remember, of course, that there are two ways of communication. So the formal and informal, and we have types of communication. And in this case, I just want you to think, what do you think are the types of communication? Just any ideas? Diana?
Maybe for verbal and non-verbal communication.
Yeah, what's the difference?
If I'm not mistaken, verbal, it's when we speak, and non-verbal, it's body language.
Gestures, mimics. Yes. Yeah. Okay, actually, there are two more. In total, there are 4 widely accepted types of communication. So verbal, non-verbal, and 2 more. Think how else can we express our... Yeah, please, Desire.
Verbal, non-verbal, I think visual, and I think interpersonal.
Okay, with visual, I agree. So how can it be seen in the real world? So what is a visual communication?
Like billboards or flyers or newspapers, articles, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But the fourth one is a little bit different. Maybe some of you have other guesses. Anna, I see that you raised the hand, please.
Maybe writing communication also.
Yeah, it's called written. Yeah, written.
Yes.
Yeah, written type of communication. When we just write messages, emails, letters, and so on and so forth. So verbal, non-verbal, written, visual. So that's what you should remember for your exam. Igor, yes, please.
Yes, I know one more. It's Morse code.
So how can it be seen?
Or by it can be verbal. It can be like if you make noises that can count as a Morse code. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, due to this course, we do not take it into the consideration. I mean, to the exam. So that's why let's concentrate on this for. Yeah, it has a chance to exist, of course. Actually, even like any topics that we have in any subject, if you Google, for example, you can see like, for example, the topic of 4P. I think you remember it. Yeah. Product, place, etc., etc., etc. So you will see 7P, 6P, 8P, the same with types of communication. So for your exam, so remember 4 verbal, non-verbal, written, and visual, and how they're used, just in order not to, be misunderstood like I and you. But still, you're welcome to express your ideas. Of course, world's growing, and there are always something new. Okay, so I have the question for you. Think about good communicator. So just the person you think who is perfect communicator, perfect example of communication. Maybe some of your friends, maybe relatives, I don't know, the people from the internet, maybe some influencers who you consider to be perfect communicators. And I want you to say like 3 reasons, 3 factors, how you understand that this person or that person is or was a good communicator. Just like 3 people, that will be enough. Arina, please.
The first thing is that the really good communicator has to know exactly what he wants to say. And there must be confidence in what he's saying. And also it's important to use body language. Not just, you may say really good things, really important, but if you just stay in one position and you did not use your hands or some mimics, that's really will not work. So.
Okay, so I love the point of confidence. So to know what you're telling, 100%. Yeah, without knowing what you're telling, it will be just a mess in the speech. So yeah, that's true. A lot of Instagram trainers in the meaning of psychology, business, and so on and so forth, they have perfect body language and so on and so forth, but the content of what they're usually telling, now I think that it's really trendy to make videos. So about all those business trainers, psychologists who are actually telling absolutely the same information as others, so they just copy pasting the information from other courses and so on and so forth. So yeah, this is true. So knowing what you're telling the people, 100%. Sophia, please.
I think the next factor is when a good communicator can hear, like can listen to others, not just to talk about himself, but also hear other speech and others' ideas. And
So
to
can we
and
say being a listener and a speaker,
good
not
listener.
only a speaker?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do you know any relatives or friends who are good communicators?
All of the people who I'm talking to very closely are my good communicators. My mom, my best friends, my
So they
boyfriend.
can listen. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
perfect, super. By the way, I read really cool article by some of the scientists from US, and they said that most of, because now we are caring a lot about the presentations here, and when we are starting the projects, we are looking for investors, and we are doing the pitching. I think you've heard of pitching. It's like short description of the project you want to attract investments to. And the scientists try to prove that actually the all these things that we are talking about now, confidence, being able to listen, mimics, gestures are like extremely important. But in the end, so what becomes like essential in here, this like personal connection, you know, like this when there is like some chemistry between people. So the people either they like each other or they don't. So, and it happens from like very first words. And this is absolutely true, especially when we talk about the business. And even if you go to the interview, yeah, you can feel this this connection between the people, right? So do you feel that you want to be in this team or not? So how do you get on well? I mean, even on this like 1 hour interview, so you can still feel that. So it's about chemistry. But yeah, all of these factors are very important, 100%. Oh, I see 2 more people. I see Desire, please.
Okay, I think a good example of a good communicator for me is my mom, definitely. Her dissemination of information is very clear, concise, concrete. I think it would be like rather silly.
Got to do this.
Yeah, sorry.
I think her dissemination of information is very clear, concise, and concrete. It's rather silly if you misunderstand her. So she's really like, direct and coherent with her words. So she gives you the instruction and the information straight to the point. So I think, yeah, my mom is a good communicator when it comes to that. Yeah.
You know, I love, first of all, I love word coherent. And secondly, I love word direct. So actually for communicators, I think this is super important, because imagine even like the presentation of something and the person goes around the topic, but does not go like to the end. Yeah, that's really the point. Yeah, it affects the final opinion of the project, of what they're selling or something. Even like there is kind of the term, it's like pre-sale, when the people or the company starts the promotion campaign before they start actually the selling. It can be anything. For example, the film, the actors start promoting parts of the film in their social media, let it be. So it can be, I don't know, the product that hasn't been released yet, but the company, the influencer starts somehow promoting in different sources. So, and this one is like pretty good one, but sometimes when they overdo that, some of the companies really overdo that, and in the end, you understand that like the amount of attention the people attracted to this pre-sale period was so significant, and if your product or service is not as good as like it was prepared, so there is no need. So, and people will be even more disappointed with it than if this like pre-sale period didn't last so long. So, you know, I think you've heard lots of stories, and I think all of you have similar stories with different car models, with different mobile phones, gadgets, and so on and so forth. Sometimes the project can be in this pre-release and pre-sale period be promoted so well that something like unbelievable is coming and so on and so forth, and the assembly line is in the way to your houses. And then when you see how it looks, how it works, you understand that nothing about what they talked about. And there is a cool phrase about this. I don't remember who said it. So it's very connected to that. The person said that before the cars were made by engineers. Now the cars are made by marketing managers. So now they are marketed significantly with everything, with, I don't know, perfect designs and everything super trendy. Actually, now trends are created. So these companies, they don't need to follow the trends, they create the trends. So, and back in the days, cars were, and many things were created by engineers. That's why the quality was way better. So good point, Desires. Thank you very much. Thank you. Anna, please.
Yes, I want to say that for me is really important when a person is interested in talking to me, because when it's only dry answers, it's not interesting. For example, when you buy something on internet, on Instagram, I want the person really interested in me and not just want to buy me, sell me everything that he. You understand?
That's he's promoting, selling.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I understand. You know, like now we have so many shops where shop assistant, they just don't want to work. And this is true. Like last year I did repairment, and it was terrible really to find like a good place to buy things, to buy materials, because in most cases they cannot even answer like simple questions. You know, like at some point I realized that I know more about tile. I think you know what style. Do you know what a style? Like plitka. For floor, and yeah. So, and at one point, like when I was maybe the last shop, and it was like my final destination in this pre-repayment process, and I came and I asked the questions, and I realized that the shop assistant knows less information than I did. I mean, like whites and I don't know the how it should be structured, so what materials to use and so on and so forth. What countries can be like good to produce it, but was better price. Like everything like that was pretty easy to find on the internet, and people like weren't prepared well for it. And this is very sad. So for example, as you said, like dry answers. So this is the reality of lack of competency. So we are coming to the next point. This is high competency. So without just being interested, also to be competent enough in order to answer the questions. And this is okay not being able to answer the questions, but at least the out of 10 questions, for example, there should be like majority of questions should be answered well. If like 1-2 questions aren't answered, so this is pretty fine. We're like human beings, we are not like Google, so to know all the answers. So this is pretty fine. But when like only 2 questions are answered and 8 or not, so definitely something wrong with it, and the person should be trained. You will have really cool subject. It's called HRM. I don't remember like when you will have it. Maybe on 3rd or 4th year of studying. It's connected like to human resource management, and they're like big part of the classes. They're connected to training the employees, so to make them competent, to make them know the service or the good they are selling and they're providing to their customers. And it's very interesting because there are so many different ways how to do that. You as future like top managers, entrepreneurs, and so on and so forth, you will see that it's not just about like hiring the competent person with like experience and with a diploma in his or her hand. So it's more about like training and preparing for this, strange questions from maybe bad behavior, customers, and all of that. It comes on the shoulders of the employer, so, and the HR manager as well, because he or she should make these people ready to all of this questions. So yeah, that's why I think you will like the subject for sure. But I'm not sure when you will have it. Maybe the next year, maybe the year after, or 2 years after. Okay, I see that Sophia raised a hand as well. Please, Sophia.
Also, I think a good communicator is a person who can respect other views and won't believe only in his view and his point.
Mm-hmm. I asked you to say like the example of good communicator. I want to give you example of bad communicator. I have like I live in a multi-story house, so it has like 24 floors, I say, and one entrance. So a lot of people, about like 90. I think we have 95 flats, something like that, in my house. And last year we realized that we have like lots of problems with the basement, like the technologies, everything that's based in the basement is connected to the well-being of the house. So all these pipes and so on. So we realized that there are some problems. And I have a neighbor, he lives just next door. And he is like the worst communicator I have ever seen. I know that it's very bad to say that, but I think knowing this characteristics, knowing this example will help you not to repeat his mistakes. So we organize different meetings, like this house meetings. I think every month we discuss different topics. We have this Viber chat, and we are always like in a process. And he is such a person. So as Sophia said, he does not listen to any other people. So there are some professionals in the industry, like engineers, so who have engineering companies. So they know like what to do, what to change in order to make it work. And so the only argument he gives, and he's like middle-aged guy, I think he's like, no, he's even like older than 50. And he always has like one thing, like, no. So it doesn't work. You don't know how it works. And definitely like what it's led us to. So first of all, the person looked, very serious, because first of all, how he looks, his gestures, he's unbelievably good presenter. So, this, like, people, by the way, again, we come back to this psychologists and business trainers, some part of psychologists and business trainers from YouTube, who are telling the information in a very confident way. But in the end, when it comes to the communication, not just monologue, when it comes to the communication, all the expectation from it just collapses. So all the questions you ask, so they are answered by the question, like, you don't know, just rely on me, or like I'll do that, it will work. And like when you give the chance, so in most cases it works, but not as expected. So, and in this case, so what lesson can be learned from this? And actually, like, he's like perfect example what we shouldn't do in the case of starting communication with the people. So all people, like, this is, by the way, very cool trick. So think that the people are like you're surrounded with. So these are your like teachers. So from all the people, even from kids, you can learn something. So even from very young, like children, you can learn something. And even like your neighbor or someone else can know something that you don't. And this is really cool to, like, it's better to pretend as a student than always show that you're like a teacher, that you're like telling what to do. First of all, the responsibility. So when you're like saying, like, I'm just learning, so I want to get some information from you, it's easier because you put the responsibility from your shoulders to the shoulders of the person who is telling you what to do, first of all. Secondly, you're open to the, you're open to the information. So you're not just saying, no, this is incorrect. Even if you know that the correct answer, but you can hear the other ways how to solve the problem. Because in this case, like the option that he proposed, it was like more expensive than other options that other people were trying to propose. And in the end, because he didn't want to listen to them, he was just interrupting all the time. And I talked to the people like who were trying to say something, but they didn't manage to. And really, their option was way cheaper than his. So to solve the problem. And like in the end of the days, really, the lesson that can be learned from this case is just to learn. So to listen until the end. Maybe something good will be, even if you know the answer. Yeah. So let's move on. We have like 10 minutes until the end, and I want you to think of also bad communicator. So like I gave you an example of my neighbor. So I want you to think about bad communicator, you know, and how can this person improve? So like I gave the recommendation, for example, to listen more. Of course, I didn't tell this information to him. He does not listen, but if I could, I would tell him to listen more to the people. So think of the person like a bad communicator and say, how can this person, in your opinion, improve it? Yeah, please, Desire or Alice, who was the first?
Okay. Yeah, definitely. My brother, sorry to say, I have a twin, but like he's very stern in his opinions. Like he said, he's not open to other people. So he finds it hard, like just like accepting other opinions and just, you know, rather very is biased the word, I think. So he basically, and okay, if you're trying to express your opinion, he's very distracted. So which is very bad. So he basically like shuts off your idea and just, you know, stands on his own opinion on things and doesn't hear the other person out, which I think is very bad and always never leads to anything at the end of the day. So we just leave it at that. So I think, yeah, that's just like bad quality of we communicators. So, yeah.
Okay, so what like top advice can you give to the person?
Just listen, like hear what the person has to say. You might be correct at the end of the day, but just listen to what the person has to say. You get what I'm saying? Like you might be right, true, but just see my reason as to why I'm saying what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah, you see, it comes to the point that being a good speaker, like a communicator, is always like two sides, because communication is not about monologues only, it's about dialogues and discussing the topics. So yeah, and we are coming back to very, very cool thing that one of the students said about being a good listener. Yeah, so it helps a lot, really. It helps. So thank you very much, Desire. So Alice was the second. Alice, please.
Yeah, thank you. So I think one of the problems can be not controlling your emotions. I mean, it's good when you're not closed, when you're like expressing something, you're not like just a piece of bread without emotions, but there can be a problem when you're, for example, angry and the person you're communicating with did not do anything to you. I mean, you're just angry, not at them, and you're just starting to act this aggression to this person, but it's not right. And I think in that situation, a person should just calm down a bit before this communication, before this dialogue, and then start to talk and to communicate in a calm way, not to make some problems in communication with the others, because it's just your problems and that's it. Or when, for example, there is a conflict between two people and you're both angry and you're trying to solve something, but you're just shouting at each other and the problem gets worse. I think they just should calm down before that. So
okay, so to summarize, just not letting your emotions affect your communication. Yeah, 100%. It can be as a positive one. Sometimes emotions help us, but sometimes not. So yeah, controlling emotions definitely good skill for everyone. Yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you. Arina, you were the next, please.
If you realize that you're a bad communicator, there definitely should be someone whose speech you like, and you can just copy his attitude. I don't know how to say it, his body
Manner.
language, and someone can say that you will be just a copy and it won't work, but you can be 100% copy of another person. So, but you can just copy his actions, how he speaks, with tone, or how to say.
Yeah, pace, tone, all of the things. Yeah.
Manner of
You can
speaking.
copy it.
Of
Yeah, so I think this is, by the way, this is really cool exercise for people who are learning the languages or who are learning this
About
to
accent.
be to be presenters. Yeah, so just to copy someone else ways of the speeches, because I know one guy, he's the voiceover presenter. You know, there's people who are like translating and then like make the voiceover to different videos, films, and so on. But he's like this voiceover person, and he said like very interesting phrase. So I did really saw that it's more about the skill that you inherit. So you know that you're born and you just have the skill. But he said that it's just the thing you can gain in just by practicing. So you just copying someone you like, you're copying someone who speaks the way you love it. I think you've heard about Sergei Brunov. This is voiceover, like the official voiceover of Leonardo DiCaprio to the Russian language. So all of the films that are translated to Russian language was Leonardo DiCaprio, Sergei Brunov translated. And I heard, or I watched, I don't remember where I saw this phrase, that many people were thinking like, why Leonardo DiCaprio does not get the Oscar award. And I think, you know, he hadn't gotten the Oscar for many years. And there was an answer of one of the celebrities, and he said, just, this is because you've never watched the original version, so the version in English of the film. So that's, and when you watch it, you realize that the work that voiceover person actually does, so it's so significant. And you know, even like with, because gestures, mimics, everything is the same, so you do not change it, you change only how you speak. And here, as Arina said, so the pace, yeah, how fast or slowly you speak, the accent, the words, and all of this thing, they just change the picture completely. So I think you've heard of the film, the very popular one, Wolf from Wall Street. So again, this is one of like the best movies with Leonardo DiCaprio. Actually, if you watch it in Russian and in English, so everything starting from very first like minute will be different. And in this case, not about gestures, not about mimics, because it stays the same, only about how a person speaks. So yeah, copying is okay. No problem with that. So it's not like fake. As Arina said, you're always like unique. You can't be like 100% copy of someone. So 100%. We have less than a minute. So Anastasia, sorry, if you can have it for 1 minute. So please, you're welcome.
Okay, I'll try. About bad communicators, I hate it when person can't decide what to say, how to say it right, how to manage thoughts. So I would say that it is better to formulate your idea in your head before saying it, so that everyone gets the idea and you say it right. So think first and then say it.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of quotes that were based on this idea. Thinking first and then doing something. Yeah, 100%. So now you will have a long break, so until 12:30. So, and then we'll have the next session. So the thing that I want you to remember, so we have two ways of communication. Yeah, we can have